we're going to go through the second GGP Classic event, or GGP7 Classic event, which was the Classic Royale, which was just 20 players and 8 CMPs, so there are multiple lobbies. This was the Master lobby, which I was put in, which is a little bit surprised. This is the highest one. I'm fairly confident I can beat some of these players. I'm certainly not expecting to win. There's 1 or 2 players who I think are just a cut above what I can do currently. Since we'll be seeing a lot of these guys, I'll just do a quick introduction for them. Starting with the back left, which is Speedlund. Very well-known time attacker, has multiple world records. Well, many world records. Multiple doesn't even do it justice. Raymain, I think he's currently grinded to first on the elite leaderboard if you care about that kind of thing. So I think he's one of the stronger players here. SkiVeKt, another really strong player, multiple time attack records, plays multiple machines. DSK, pretty well known Fox main, Classic Fox main, I should say. Why he decides to do Classic Fox, I don't know, but it's great to see represented here. There are a couple of cases where Fox is actually pretty strong, so it's not total meme. And next, the grey Falcon, that's ummog, a pretty good all-round player, plays all machines. And harukky in the golden goose, another player, switches machines a lot. MoonweeD in the Falcon. I think they're mainly Falcon in this one. Kalt, the Falcon, I think well known. They do stream and they do use. I think they've won GGPs before, so they're mainly in the Falcon, but I think they do switch as well. VeysonD, Raymain, that's pretty good. Hamburger, another Raymain, another pretty good player. Full color, the Japanese Falcon, mainly Falcon. I think it might be all Falcon in this one. Shellius switches. I think they switch machines quite a lot. Plays everything, so strong. They're all strong players. HappyJames, another player. I hadn't actually played that much. I probably played against him the least, and possibly maybe because certainly in Classic anyway. I think a few times in '99. I think he goes Falcon the whole way through this. Master 1, another really good Raymain, has a YouTube channel, does a lot of content there. Lidelle, aka Moggy, a really strong Raymain. Mengsk, really well known player because his YouTube account is something like, it's maybe almost 20 years old now, and it's, he made it back in the day for doing F-Zero GX content, and has kept it going all these years. It was pretty fun. If he goes Falcon for all of this. Hori, another Raymain. So maybe you've noticed the pattern. If it's not a Raymain, they're Falcon main, or they're going all Falcon. Talk about that later, I think. Taco, very strong Classic player, strong Falcon player. Had a good fight with him in Mahjong. As me, I'm going Goose the whole way through this, so the only one who manages to do that. There are a few others that pick Goose for a few CMPs, but I go Goose the whole way through. Better than people think. I think it gets a bad reputation. It's a little unfair. Pinkpools, another really good Raymain, and nashorn, I think, is the Falcon at the front. I've probably butchered more than one Japanese name, to be fair. Maybe a couple of the I don't want to say English, but Latin script ones as well. But whatever. Another really good player, and they switch machines too. So 20 of the toughest Classic players you could hope to see, really. So 8 CMPs, one of those points at the end wins. No complicated rules like Mahjong, just simple classic rules. So, rather than any more faffing around, let's actually just watch the races. So, let's turn that down. So who are we waiting for? Waiting for SkiVeKt. Yeah. Okay. So I said I was going to Goose. So this is where I justify myself. I think Goose is a lot better than people think. The general logic is it's either Falcon or Ray. Now Falcon has a strong start, and even though Ray, so pretty much if you look at time trial, a handful of exceptions, Ray is the fastest in Classic all the time, and many tracks don't even close. The thing about Falcon is that you can be fairly consistent with it in terms of your start. Goose starts a lot slower, so it's harder. And I got a great start here, so you know, I don't want to ignore that. But you pretty much get a good start. It's also easier to drive, so you know, Goose is fairly unresponsive and understeers and slides a little bit, whereas Falcon's very grippy. But obviously the big bonus for Falcon, the obvious bonus, is that they've got a higher top speed. But the real bonus comes in back bumps, and I think I'll have to go and check it. And maybe if I find it, I'll put it on the screen at some point. Maybe now, this is kind of a quiet moment, really. But it's easier to get back bumps, and the back bumps push you forward more. So what that means is that even though you have a weak car in terms of its pure racing statistics, similar to a 99, it actually has benefit. There's a certain benefit to it that allows you that puts you in a good position in a race that you wouldn't otherwise have. So as a start, this is absolutely immense first lap, and I haven't really made a mistake. I did lose some time trying to cut the corner, or trying to cut the rough rather, at the first lap, but otherwise it's been pretty much perfect. Every single one of my nag turns, unlike that was a bit slow, but unlike in Mahjong, where I messed up, I definitely messed up was trying that as Goose. All my nag turns through that corner have been pretty tight. So there's two elements to it. Obviously a little bit of luck, but it's also, if you drive well, you're rewarded. And sometimes the reward will be a podium as Goose and Mute City, which is pretty amazing. And other times it will be survival when really you shouldn't. So like about anything, you do enough races, the luck should typically balance out. So that's my justification of doing Goose. I think it's just as strong as Falcon, if not stronger. And in a race like in a format like this, I think it's really shines. There are some tracks where it's quite bad at, to be fair, even here. I already mentioned, well, in Mahjong, I think we saw DSK have to go through Firefield and Whiteland 2 as Goose, and in the four racer, in the small lobby format, so there's only 4 races in that race, so it was quite difficult for him. Obviously, he's back in his favourite Fox now, so he can't complain about anything. But in this, it's, you know, you have the opportunity to get back bumps and fight, and at the end of the day, your goal is really, well, certainly when I was playing this, was trying just to survive. It was try not to make any big mistakes. Yeah, there we go. It's a nice little back bump, and so it's obviously have a fast speed, but it's actually that the back bump, it pushes you forward more than it would if you were a Falcon. So it's not just a slightly higher top speed, it's actually that it's giving you more. But on the other side of that is that I had a pretty slow exit, and that exit, that corner is really hard as Goose to do it well. It's very easy to sort of take too much speed and go flying into the far wall. So this is actually pretty bad. I'm just losing speed. The Razor already passed me. So this is the kind of like race where you kind of don't want to be Goose. It's not a good Goose track. It's very difficult. But we are keeping, you know, the Razor away. They're not mortal, and the thing, even though they are faster, you see out time and again, they're always starting at the back, and they're the ones that are risk at rank out. So every single race has 2 rank outs at the end of lap 2, then 1 on lap 3 and 1 on lap 4, and they very often are the ones that rank out lap 2. So keep everyone away. I'm pretty pleased with that. But that's a tough one for Goose. That's the kind of track where I would rather be Falcon, to be honest, because it's just so much easier to maintain the speed out the final corner and maintain the speed around the ice. But again, it's still okay, right? And we're still up in the podiums, up in third. So that's pretty good. So, but why don't you always play Ray if Ray is faster? Why are there so many players doing well? You know, not just me. Like Taco, like HappyJames. I think he was winning this GP so far. Yeah, and they're not playing Ray. Well, because you always run the risk of rank out. So if you want to play Ray well, you're looking at the other 6 or 7 Rays and saying, can I beat them consistently so that I never rank out? And then also in some tracks, if you think, well, can I close the gap on the faster cars well enough? You need a little bit of luck, certainly. You need back bumps, you need a good start, you need to clear either back bumps, or you need to start in the back and not sort of crash into anyone. So I have a terrible start until Lidelle saves me. So, you know, if you're just persistent, you might get lucky. So, you know, you can't really ask for more than that. And then I think that's where Goose really excels. You get the back bump. You just, you know, the track isn't that wide. And when you boost, you know, I do get messed around there. When you boost, there's only so many places. There's only so many places you can really go. And when you boost as well, your ability to turn is limited, even as Falcon. So like I don't get a back bump there, but I felt I should have had one. So yes, this is a good fight. Now so I'm doing the trick I was doing before, which is the boost early in Mahjong. Kalt is kind of taking the sort of the less risky one, and you see I actually get punished there. I boost a little bit too early, a little bit too risky, and suddenly I'm finding myself last. So it's not looking good. And that was really unnecessary. I know why I ranked out. I took a risk I didn't need to. And I should have... If I'd waited half a second to boost, I would have been able to preserve the speed out the corner. So that was my fault. I can you know, say I got a bit lucky or unlucky. It was a really tough race. That's the standard. But so far, that's really excellent. Really good New City. A really good Whiteland 1, because I think that's a tough goose track. And Silence, I think I can do better than Silence, but it just kind of... I made a mistake. I mean, you can see at the end of lap 2 or 3. And let's actually go back. So this is where I messed it up. Here, I think. Or was it before? No, it was here. Yeah, why am I at 435? I should be at 462. There's no excuse. So obviously I'm gonna knock down a little bit, which makes it tricky, but yeah, that was why. So there's always something you can have done a little differently. And in this case, yeah, it's actually full color who gets in the way. So I think he's doing the same thing I am. Yeah, he is. Only he boosts a little later, so he gets away with it. But I'm boosting really early, and it's too early, it turns out. So it's not a bad start. It's roughly 90. I mean, my target is, if I can get top 10, that to me is huge, because I don't expect it. There's obviously so many tough players. But I'm committed to Goose now. I'm pretty confident I can do well enough. Whenever I get an opportunity to do Goose Classic, I do the... So HappyJames won. So there we go. So, you know, the received wisdom that Ray is just ultimately best at. Oh, what's going on here? Oh yeah, I've not edited these. Let's go on to the second one. So this is just the raw footage, and I think I was double checking the final score before submitting. So on to the next one, Route City 4. Another front row start, really the best start. The middle two positions of the front row, I'd say the prime positions. I'd say this is probably the best one. So you have the best chance of a back bump, and we do eventually just get one, and it pushes up to 420, which gets us past the Falcon. At that point, there's nothing they can do acceleration wise. You're top, and they can't really, unless they get a back bump, that they can't get past you. Speaking of back bumps, look, it's HappyJames again. They're really good first GP. And this is fine. This is fine. The Falcons, I do need to double check this. The Falcons, I think, get better boost pad. They're faster on the boost pads, and they retain the speed longer in Classic as well as 99. I remember the change happened in 99 because I was playing Falcon at the time, and I was kind of annoyed because they needed a buff. They got this buff, but again, it's the same. It's the same thing as Mahjong. I just can't cut that corner properly, and it's pretty. Yeah, I mean it's there's not much to say. it's another city. It's in some ways the least interesting city, but it's a disaster for Rays. Again, this is the kind of track you would not want to play Ray as. But it's the whole. In fact, Speedlund, who I mentioned, was the extremely capable Ray player who has many different world records and is probably the biggest challenge to Edward in terms of classic Ray times. He's actually playing Falcon, so we maintain fourth. Really good. So we pivoted a really strong start to a decent finish, but that's the kind of track you'd rather be Falcon in, to be honest. But that's no fun. Who wants to be Falcon when you can be Goose? So you can see all top 4. It's all the top 8 of Falcons except for me. Then DSK. In fact, did any Rays survive? Do I scroll down? No. Okay. Red Canyon 1. We start on the left, so that's not a bad place to start because it's a strongest. You get a decently strong start, but the Shellius is in the way, and I'm not able, and I sort of get pushed back a little. So now I want to try and fish for back bumps. I want to put my there we go. I want to put my car where I think it'll get a back bump, and there we go. So there we go. Again, there's a lot of luck involved, but it is a racing track. Every race track in the world has racing lines. You just drive the racing line, and the racing lines, they're not exactly hard to pick up either. So we get an insane lap 1, and when you get in this position, all of a sudden the tables turned. It's really hard for the Falcons or anyone to catch you. That's not a Ray. And a track this short, it's tricky. So an amazing fight between a goose and a fox for first place in a classic race. But that's pretty good. DSK is doing that kind of way better than I am, but I'm just eating up ground. So the question is, do the Rays catch up? I don't take the gamble, and there we go. There's the Rays. So there's pinkpools, Lidelle. A couple of Falcons. I think that's harukky who takes the gambit. HappyJames didn't. How the hell did he get ahead of? I don't know. He had a pretty good GGP in general. Certainly in the classic thing so far. So I don't know. He just some blessed netcode. So, but not bad. I really can't complain. Second, I mean, really, I'm kicking myself. But for that really stupid lap 3 in silence, I could easily be looking at 2 podiums after 2 GPs, which would be really contention to win the whole thing. But we'll see. I might not be quite able to do that. But we'll see. We'll see how far you can push Goose in this kind of lobby. So again, I'm starting where I want to start. DSK gets a really good start. He doesn't get back bumped. And I just got a fish, and there we go. I mean, I kind of don't know whether there's a skill to it or whether it's really just cheap as goose, to be honest with you. And you just get it for free sometimes. I hit that bumper, so that's not good. So we kind of throw away a bit, and then Kalt boosts early and just gives me an early Christmas present, and at the same time boosts me forward. So this is silence too, so you can always get away with an early boost, as we, as Taco showed. I still got my boost, so the goal here is to try and get past the SK, because I expect to be able to beat a fox. There we go. So I don't know whether I pushed them forward and distracted them, because obviously it looked like that on my screen, so I don't know whether he saw the same thing. Yeah, and I take a big hit and lose a lot of speed. If I'm feeling really bold, you can boost early, of course, but I'm not feeling really bold. It's too early, and I think I really want to survive a GP. So here come the raise. Here comes Lidelle. I think I know if I can hold 4 for even better. I boost early because I'm feeling bold, and I actually lose the place, so I didn't do that very well. You've got to. I think I was breaking in the middle, so you've got to get the line right, or else it's actually counterproductive. But even then, if you boost right at the end of the last lap, you're risking. You're going to waste some of that boost. So you got to decide what your risk threshold is. If that's not too corporate a term. It's second place, which is just completely insane. But it was the bad Ray GP. We had obviously started MC4, and that killed a lot of Rays, so it's not a surprise. But HappyJames wins again. Pretty incredible. 250, absolutely snapping your arm off, but 250. And a lot of good players not making it. So yeah, so these first 2 GPs, really, I got all the luck I could ever want. Let's skip along here to the next one. Oh, so Sand Ocean, Port Town 1, Death Wind 2. So Sand Ocean is a bad goose track. It's a bad goose track because you lose a lot of speed turning, and obviously it's lots of turns. So it's also very long, so long tracks play into Ray. So it kind of, you'd think long track would help Goose against Falcon, but you tend to lose so much time in sort of curvy, in sort of the end section. It kind of doesn't really play out that way. So again, I want to try and get ahead of Kalt at the corner, but he just keeps ahead of me, and he don't quite get the bump I want. So that was almost perfect. But I was actually trying, it's not like it's all just random. I'm trying to get back bumps, but that time didn't work. Then I want to hug the inside. Yeah, actually, Veyson actually pushed me at the wrong time, because I wanted to hug the inside. Because if I hug, actually, let me just show you what I mean. So I want to be here. I don't like pausing in the middle of the race, but this GP will be over soon, if that's not too much of a spoiler. I want to be here, so I think you can see my arrow. Yeah, you can see my cursor. So I want to try and be there, because that's where I expect the raise to be. I expect the raise to be going down there. So if I'm there, the raise will be able to push me. But Veyson pushes me here. And the other side of the issue with back bumps is that you'll get pushed too far. So you don't want to get pushed here, because it's going to push you past the apex, as it were, and you'll go wide. So be careful in pressing space and clicking OBS. As I was trying to say, Veyson will push me past the apex and push me wide, which I actually didn't want, but it wasn't too much of an issue. But it meant, I wasn't using the full force of the forward momentum. So this is really as good as I can expect. The target is just survive. This is a weak track. You might wonder why even use, again, everyone's getting back bump. It's just a total mess there. You might wonder why even use Goose here then. Well, it's, the next 2 tracks are pretty good for Goose. Priority 1 is kind of a little bit balanced. Death Wind 2 is a bad track for Ray, because it's hard for Ray to catch up enough in the first 2 laps. So at the end of lap 2, you see I need to be 18th, and I just get snuck out by Shellius. So what I think I did wrong is when I used the boost. So I'm thinking I should have used it here. You know, I'm 10th. I've got 10 chances for people to kick me in the backside and push me forward. But then I lose all the speed here. Actually, I keep it. I mean, that's a pretty good turn, to be fair. But then I lose it here. You go always going to lose turn. I needed the boost here. I didn't. I got the back bump late, and that was enough to punish me. So, too bad. 0 points, or maybe 1 point. I forget. But yeah, I show the rest. I might as well show the results. So yeah, hard lines to me. We saw actually the Rays won. So that Sand Ocean makes huge difference. Sand Ocean, you gotta you're taking a big risk if you're not coming as a Ray. Oh, what's this one? Right, so this is GP4 we're on. So I've one survival, 1 total disaster, and 1 very close miss. That's not bad. That's not far from my expectation. It's probably averaging close to 10. But of course I want to survive. I want to do better than that. So Mute City 2. I think this is probably Goose's best Mute City, because it's got jumps in it, which is always good. We get a really early back bump there. So that was that. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to move to the middle just to try and... That's where the master players are, right? In the middle. So I'm trying to move in the middle. I get the back bump, and I get it so early that it's sort of not that helpful because I'm still only in 300 or so. But these jumps, obviously, you know, anything that helps with acceleration would help Goose. Don't do a great turn there. We're only at 420 kilometers an hour coming out that corner. But this is fine. We got a good enough start. But as I said, I think this is probably Goose's best Mute City. I'd say only in terms of starting tracks, I'd say only Big Blue is possibly better. So we barely missed that bumper, but luckily we can boost out of that. So yeah, but the Rays are obviously, again, this is the problem. I think I mentioned this before. Anything Goose is good at, Ray's better at. So which isn't the true of the others. So Falcon, you know, obviously, it's good at short tracks. It's good at a lot of different, you know, bigger variety of situations than Ray. But you wouldn't necessarily say, well, like Mute City 4, for example, you know, Falcon and Fox are probably better than, well, they are better than Ray there, as we saw earlier. So it's really, you know, the logic, the same logic in there. Whereas for everything Goose is good at, Big Blue 2, RC 2, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's tough. And again, Ray is just really good. So we only lose 1 place to a non-Ray, and that's Taco at the end. That's actually okay. It's a little disappointing, but it's not unsurprising. It's just it's a really good Ray, Mute City. So when you've got all these good Rays, you're gonna lose speed. So you just gotta accept it. The next track will be better for Goose. That's how it works. It's not, you're never gonna be consistent. HappyJames is on another level. So MoonweeD, we were following MoonweeD from that way, and you can see how much time we lost to him, and that kind of shows, you know, how bad that race was. But it was okay. Really, it wasn't a big issue. But how HappyJames is keeping competitive up at the front like that, I don't know. So here we go, starting at the back in a fairly short track, so not a great position. We don't get that. I think Goose doesn't get badly affected by front bumps as much as other vehicles, but I need to check that. But we're okay, except we drive into the wall, so we're in pretty bad position. We're going to have to really fight now. We didn't get a good first lap, so the question is, now I've had a bad first lap, how do I actually get out of it? So obviously we got our work cut out. So we need to finish 12th. That's or you know, that's the thinking. Just get out of this race. No mistakes. That's pretty good. I'm thinking, I don't think I can keep these Rays behind me. But I don't know how I'm going to catch up to SkiVeKt and harukky, and we actually get messed around there. So we're 11. We just got to take... We actually get knocked forward into the bumper. Then that bumper apparently hits Hori and Master A1. The same bumper that nearly killed me. And somehow we've got a huge lead again. So I don't know what the hell happened. I'd love to see their point of view. But that was a real scare. And that's what happens when you start at the back. You've got to fight for it. So that lap 3. So yeah, I didn't really do anything wrong, but it's just an awkward track for Goose, and it's an awkward. It's not a great start. But just because, so yeah, that bumper's in the way. Yeah. Oh, I need to remember my hotkeys. So what I actually need to do is actually go on the right of this bumper. I think it gets pushed forward. Yeah. So that's netcode, not shenanigans. The bumper's getting pushed forward, and now it's in front of me, and the wind is pushing me, I think, towards it. So, and then Hori is getting in the way. Yeah. So it's, oh god. So it's a little bit of a mess. And then I get a back bump. Just so I'm looking to very tightly turn right between that the bumper on the right and the wall. So it'll be there when I'm there. So this bumper here and this wall, I'm going to try and go through that. But what happens just before I actually get a back bump from Hori or side bump? And we actually get knocked into it. Now what happens here? I don't know. Maybe I get my payback. Let's see. Oh no, that's not right. I'll do it by hand. Yeah, so I think maybe Hori's sort of lost a lot of speed. Master 1 maybe hits the bumper first. Maybe the bumper hits him. Yeah, so I don't know what happens there. I don't know what happens there. But you get away with it. Now sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you don't. So I think I may have got a little bit unlucky in silence, but I got lucky there. It all works itself out. But yeah, this definitely not a it's definitely a tough Goose GP. But this changes it. Porttown 2 really is a strong Goose track, which might seem strange, but it comes down to how back bumps work. So we're going to see some very cheesy back bumping. Yeah, so you don't really get anything here, but you don't need to. The jumps are there. So the jumps are strong again. So jumps are good because they keep you up with those guys, with the falcons and the foxes. And you see something about the magnets make back bumps really easy, and that as well. So I'm being pushed again. So yeah, back bumps just you can get them so easily in Porttown 2. I don't know why. Something about the magnets keeping people in place and the line is kind of very so everyone's on the same line, I suppose. I make a mistake coming off the jump, but then someone touches us again. We go we go forwards. So yeah, so obviously without a back bump, Goose is a lot slower through that section, but you can still maintain a lot of speed. So it's all a question of are you good enough to make the most of what Goose can give you. And there's certainly better Geese players. I don't have any classic Geese records or anything on time trial, so I have to. Yeah, that's a good example of where Goose is weak and Goose is strong. I had to lose a lot of speed just to make it through that gap, but then I just wait for the back bump, and there we go. So the only people ahead of me are Rays, I believe, but I get a back bump off HappyJames. He then, I think, sends a bump into me, and now I'm in a really bad position because I don't have any speed, and everyone is wisely not touching me. They're getting away from me. So the question is, can I maintain it? I make a really bad, I lose a lot of speed, come off the jump, I then hit that, and now I'm just losing speed. And now for the first time this race, there's no one behind me to push me forward, and you can see this is where Goose really gets punished. not every track, but certainly this track. So, and that was really very simple issue. I boosted too soon. Those 2 bumpers at the end of lap 3 are really dangerous. So my cheesy back bumping couldn't save me. But these 2 bumpers here, we can't see them yet. But here they are. I should have waited. I mean, I know they're there. I've done it enough times. The bumpers are fairly consistent. So if I just waited, I would have been fine. But that's just how it is. So you know, I think I was definitely benefited a lot from being the only goose in a lot of these tracks against a lot of falcons. Yeah, I don't know why I'm actually getting my rank out. It's too bad for me. How many points did I get? Only 105. So that was a pretty bad GP. Not only did we rank out, we didn't really get a lot of points. So 9th though, you know, 9th is better than 10th, and that's the target is top 10. So in a sense, that's I'm still just you know, on targets. Right. Oh, next one. So Mute City 1, Big Blue 2, Red Canyon 2, Big Fat Goose GP. Big Blue 2, RC2, Strong Goose team. But again, this particular setup is just a little bit stronger for Ray. It's just that really strong Ray lineup. Mute City 1 is just a strong Ray GP, so it's going to be hard. I start at the front this time. It's always nice. And we're just trying to get people to touch us. It's just is the law of Classic. You need people to touch your behind. And there we go. So that falcon was just lurking, and we were able to get the back. I think, yeah, there we go. That was a lot better. We did lose a lot of speed, but it was much better. We stayed ahead of 400, and as long as you get a back bump, you know, it's not an issue. So, yeah, and we get pushed forward by one of the falcons. We had nowhere else to go. There's a falcon to the left, falcon to the right. You know, someone's going to hit me. And now we can close the gap to SkiVeKt. We somehow get another weird boost there, even though we already at top speed. And now the difficult first lap's out the way, we can just focus on not making any mistakes. You know, even without that back bump, it was a really good turn. So, yeah, we make a mistake there. But we're already fast. You know, Falcon is, what, 4, 5, 3 or 4, whereas Goose is 4, 6, 1 on average, because it's changing speed. So once you're in the 450s, you're faster than the Falcon. That's what we got to think about it. So even at the 440s, you're very close to being beyond their reach. So you know, it gets hard. So yeah. So as I was saying, this particular track is obviously it's Mute City, and Rays are just turn Mute Cities. I don't know why SkiVeKt's not going Ray, because you'd think you may as well go Ray. But yeah. Well, we kept pace with the. Well, I suppose if again, even RC2, a Big Blue 2, good as they are for Ray, you still have to catch up. So I guess for me, Goose is a sensible option, because I don't have to worry about the lap 2 rank out in the next 2 tracks really. I guess SkiVeKt is very good as Goose, has a lot of Goose classic records, so it's not like he's slow. So yeah, starting at the back this time, so another chance to prove the haters wrong, getting a good race from the back. Yeah, we try and go in the middle. Again, we don't get pushed, we don't hit anyone, so we actually get a really strong start. So even though we're Goose, and Goose is supposed to have bad acceleration and all that, we find ourselves ahead of almost everyone, except a couple of Falcons. I do what I usually do, which is hit that first magnet and then dodge that second magnet. And SkiVeKt is ahead of us. I'd like to be top Goose just for the bragging rights, but you know, this is perfectly good. And now we've got to see, can we rein in these falcons before the rays come and rein us in? I don't do a great job there. I don't know what SkiVeKt does. That maybe he sniped the back bump. And you see Speedlund is already right behind us. Oh, I mean, ahead of us. Yeah, I take a very wide entry there. I think something hampers SkiVeKt. Yeah, and the rays are already past us, so we get a back bump at the worst possible time. And this is now a really competitive race. This is like everyone. I actually ground bunked there. I forgot about that. This is a really competitive race. We are 12th. We're running the risk of rank outs. So really, I don't know. I have to I get a lucky back bump, but I had to. I had the what's it called, a blast turn because of the because of that bumper. I lose a lot of speed there. I'm just trying to get a back bump. Then harukky, I think, crashes out. So all of a sudden the panic is over. But we did beat that last falcon, which is MoonweeD. And again, the strength of Goose here is that you can just hoist ahead. So that kind of shows you start isn't everything. The starting position isn't everything. We actually had a really strong start from the back, but we actually got pushed out and really squandered it. And just to show you this, which happened so quickly, we get a back bump right there. So let's see it again. It's one of the rays. So how do you get rid of that? Well, I know pinkpools there. I know pinkpools going to back bump me, and that's what happened. So there's really no need. And then Master A1 hits me as well, just for good measure. I can solve this really easily. I can just. I'm thinking it's time trial. It's not time trial. It's a race. So I don't need to be here. I can be here to the left. Let pinkpools have the inside. I'll take the safer route, and that doesn't happen. And it probably helps overall. And then don't ground bonk as well. You can't get away. You can't be ground bonking. This is way too. This is way too tough a lobby to throw a wee time like that. And I get it. That was an extremely lucky back bump. There's not much you can do but hope. And then, yeah, because I got to take such a tight line, I can't maintain the speed. So, again, it's another example where Goose really struggles. It's the ability to react. It's the ability to... these bumpers are changing the track. They're changing the track layout, in a sense. So, the ideal line... If they're sitting on the ideal line, then something else is now the ideal line. So, how do you adapt to that? Well, Falcon does a lot better job of adapting, and Ray, of course, as well. Does a far better job of adapting than Goose. But all I can do is just fight, There's HappyJames right at the bottom. It's Taco below us. Had really strong GPs so far. So all you can do is, fight and push and not sort of get too concerned by bad luck or bad bumps. But again, we get a pretty good start. I kind of go into the middle again, but I think it might not been worth doing. We give MoonweeD a little push, and those falcons are now just pushing each themselves to the front. But we get we're 6th. Target is to be 8th to survive. Not a great start. Not a disaster. We're still in it. And this is where Falcon can struggle against Goose. If you maintain the speed through there, you can just see. So Taco obviously makes a mistake, but you can see we're gaining ever so slightly on MoonweeD and the other Falcons. SkiVeKt's gone. Yeah, fantastic lap 1. And we're slowly reeling in these Falcons. Just got to stay clean for the rest of the GP. But even that's not enough. We know there's so many rays behind us because this is such a strong ray GP. It's going to be really hard. We do get the back bump again. If you sit in the racing line, someone's going to hit you. And Goose is such a good chance of getting hit. We actually get a back bump but I can't really make use of it. It might have been nice to not actually have to boost through that section. But we're fourth, so but we know there's a lot of rays behind us, so it really, yeah, there's at least 3 rays. So really, we're 7th. We're on the bubble of survival. Full Color has a really bad exit. We push him forward. MoonweeD in the Falcon goes out, and we see there's 2 more rays. So now it's just coming to be between me and Full Color. He does that corner way better, but that's not a big gap. It's definitely bridgeable. There's also a ray behind us who may have made a mistake. We almost hit that bumper, but we lose a lot of speed. We lose a lot more speed, but so does Full Color. We get a back bump, and we somehow survive. I don't know how that happened. That was really close. We didn't do a great job. We didn't get lucky either. But we didn't do a good job, so we just ever so slightly survived. So let's try this again. So yeah, Full Color actually gives me a back bump. If I had been aware of that happening sooner, I would have saved the boost. I would have saved the boost for this end, and it wouldn't have been an issue. Like, cause that's annoying. That's just bumper placement. But we're both hampered really badly. Yeah, and then I think maybe Harry hits him into the bumper. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I did watch Full Color's point of view, and yeah, he has a pretty his reaction is very emotional, as you'd expect, to be honest. He was live streaming it, so you can see his live reaction. Super close. So yeah, this is a Ray GP. We're only 40 points off SkiVeKt, so that's not bad at all. And HappyJames, really, HappyJames has absolutely no right to be finishing that GP in a Falcon. So he and Full Color came really close, and MoonweeD as well. That's a really tough Falcon GP. Or MP, I should be saying, probably saying GP throughout. I mean Classic Mini Pre, I mean MP. So yeah, pretty amazing. And it's not a survival. 180 is not bad at all. It's not bad at all. You know, we survived. Things were going against us, but we survived. That's all you can really hope for. Right, so here's the next one. So I think we're on this is 6 out of 8 we're on. Big Blue, really good starter for Goose. Again, Ray just happens to be a little bit better. So good first lap. You can easily beat Ray's here. We start right at the back. So again, I want back bumps. I also don't want to crash into anyone when I move forward. So we get a lot of space until we hit the Rays. So we don't get any back bumps. Not a super start. Now I just want to try and get ahead, and I do that. That is like that was what you want to do. You want to get in the side of someone in the corner, and then just let them push you forward. So that's if you want to know how to get bumps, that's how you do it. We do lose a little bit of time. A bumper is badly placed and being knocked around, but it's okay. We got a decent first lap. We can definitely punish some of these Falcons. Yeah, I mean it's nice wide corners, so you don't usually get punished as Goose compared to, even, Mute City would be a prime example of one where obviously the final corner really punishes Goose in the first lap. So really strong Goose track, but now I'm really not expecting to catch these Falcons. I go in the pit, I guess. I thought I don't know why I did that. I think my health did look a little low, to be fair. But it's never really an issue. Not for Goose anyway. Maybe it's certainly for Fox. Sometimes for Ray. I have a vague recollection of Edward blowing up in a classic mini pre last time. So I know who's coming. Oh, it's MoonweeD. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, I need to figure out how to do the last corner better. I'm taking it really wide in both Big Blue and Big Blue 2. So I need to figure that out. MoonweeD just sneaked ahead somehow. But the point I was going to make was I'm not really racing anyone. I'm just the Falcons rather. I'm just worrying about these rays. We see Mengsk gets knocked around by the ray. I think we beat him. So yeah, we lost. We gained one. We got past both MoonweeD and Mengsk. We lost places to 3 rays. That's excellent. That's not really. That's as good as it gets. Obviously, HappyJames and Taco are. If you haven't figured out, they're both pretty incredible Falcon Classic players. So it's no shame to be losing time to them. That's not to say anyone else isn't necessarily really good. It's just they're better. I think that's. So far. Certainly, I think HappyJames has won maybe 4 CMPs at this point. If you've been paying attention to that, I haven't really been making note of it. Other than the last GP, CMP, where he survived Red Canyon 2, which he really, it's quite amazing. So again, this is a good one to try and get bumps on. I want to hug the inside. I kind of make a mistake there, and I don't really get anything. I don't hit a mine at least, so that's a fine first lap. It's HappyJames tussles a full color and comes off first again. And everyone on the home straight, everyone can just go around you. So there's nothing you can do about that. So there we go. Thank you very much, Speedlund. What an absolute dear. And then there's nowhere to go there, so someone's going to bump you forward if they boost. You really don't want to boost there unless you've got no choice. Is the place to boost. And then, I do decide to go into the pit because I was pretty battered after that lap. For this track and a few others, there's no reason not to. Mute City is different because it's on the outside, but it's on the inside, so you may as well pop into it. It's not going to cost you that much. But this has really been an excellent race. I think it's a strong goose track because there's a lot of places to be bumped in the backside. And HappyJames and Speedlund ahead. I think right now they're leading, so it's not a surprise to see them doing so well. So if I can just be competitive with them, that's as much as I can ask for. There we go, third. Really strong race. So yeah, we got a few back bumps, but also I didn't really make any mistakes. And all you can really do is maximize the chance of getting a back bump. It's like anything. It's this whole thing that makes this game interesting. Is nothing certain. You've got to adapt. So why does Misa always win? Well, Misa isn't always necessarily the fastest person on the track. He usually is, to be fair. But it's the ability to adapt and the ability to put yourself in the right situation and to maximize the chance of winning and minimize the chance of losing. It's making good decisions. It's not just being fast. So it's kind of cheesy. How do you win Classic? You play as Goose and you try and block people and get them to push you forward. But it's the same rules as everyone else. So back to Port Down 2, we've got a chance to redeem myself. We got a sensational start. But once again, I lose a load of speed. So you can see how good HappyJames' jump there was. He landed in front of me and he saved speed. So really superb. I do really well there. I'm staying above 440 without a back bump. So you got to be able to do that. So it's not as if you think you can just play Goose and it's just going to work. You do actually have to practice, and this is one track that really you need to practice because you've got to know how to maintain speed off this jump, and you've got to know how to maintain speed through the magnets without any assistance. So I'm messing up there. That's disastrous. So yeah, and that's not great, but it was about as good as I get, and then I get the back bump. So you gotta drive well enough to earn the right to use. Yeah, so again, I just know where Hori's gonna be, so I just put myself in the way. So yeah, that's how it works. But the Rays, they're gonna get ahead. They're gonna stay ahead. But the difference between me and Speedlund and HappyJames is pretty evident. They're both able to maintain speed and you know, do well, and I make a big mistake there. So that's the diff. So, you know, it's not just Goose, it's their quality of racing as well. I wait a little bit because I want these bumpers out the way, but I should have just used it immediately. I don't know. I get a little bit lucky, and full colour decides that I should have to be at top speed. Taco ranking out, so again, we saw him win the other event. I think he won a GP already, so you know, that's usually the standard. And again, keeping it above 430, I would like to stay over 440, but you can't always get that with the bumpers. You gotta compromise your line. And then I delay it again because I'm just so paranoid. I'm waiting for a back bump to push me forward a little bit, and then the later I can boost, better I'll be. But I'm too far ahead of full color. I'm actually keeping, you know, keeping the speed. So that was obviously lucky, but it was also like a really good start. But I did really well to keep everyone who wasn't a Ray and HappyJames behind me. So HappyJames, that's even he had to fall down to fourth. So even he can only, you know, can manage it that well. So yeah, so a really strong GP, 4th place, 245, and that was with a, you know, a lot, you know, not necessarily the best luck in all the races. So you just, you know, you keep on fighting, you'll get your chances. You know, yes, it's number 7. Oh, let's look at it. Mute City 2, Big Blue 2, Deathwind 2. Pretty good for Goose. Deathwind 2 is better for Falcon, but it's kind of a balance, really. Big Blue 2, you know, it's better for Ray. But the thing is, it's a tough Ray GP. Mute City 2, I still say it's the Goose's best Mute City, but you're a little bit dependent on starts, and I expect the Rays to catch up. So we get a great start because Kalt is very generous with the back bump, and that's it. We're already ahead of everyone, and no one's catching us this lap already. So once you get to the 4.2s, 4.3, you just you know, they can't really catch you, and we do that really well. And again, we because of the jump, it makes it so much easier. Without the jump, you've got to stay near 450 really to make it count. But there you can go down to 430. The jump's going to take you back up to 474 or 47. Yeah, whatever it is, or 462, but 474 when you jump. So now I've got a huge lead. I just have to keep it up. So yeah, that's super lucky start. But the challenge now is to pull this every lap. I messed that up already, so not great. But we're still in the lead, but I expect the race to be coming any moment. But the thing about this GP is the first 2 tracks are really strong Ray tracks, but Deathwind 2 is a really tough Ray track. It's hard for Ray to stay ahead of rank out, so maybe a few players went to Falcon because of that. So we've seen SkiVeKt and the other Japanese guy. They both went Goose. So you know, it's clearly the Goose GP. If anything, it's the Goose GP. So what about the cut here? Yeah, we do that fairly well, and Shellius is near, but they can't keep us, and we take it. So that was a really good race. We got lucky, but we also drove pretty well. But again, it's just you know, because of that jump, it's the most generous Mute City for Goose. So Goose wins a race. There you go. Blink and you'll miss it. And you see it's all just Rays and geese. Kalt, yeah, Kalt as well. So there's 4 geese in this one. So this is a good Goose GP. But a lot of Rays. So those Rays are going to be an absolute hell come Deathwind 2. You know, they're going to have 2 good races, and then they're going to be struggling. But again, when everyone's doing the same machine, you know, certainly for Ray, I think Ray's getting each other's way a lot. So you've got to have that fight every race. I don't want that. I just let me be Goose, and I'll at least have a good chance of surviving the first 2 laps. So starting at the back, yeah, we eventually get the back bump, and we get another back bump. So another amazing start, but we put ourselves in the right positions. You know, some races we didn't get lucky, some races we did. I don't ground bog this time. DSK is really pushing his luck playing Fox here. I'm wide and I lose speed, but it's okay. Now I've got the front run, and you see all those Rays, even here in one of the better Ray tracks, they really do struggle those early laps. And there's a lot of geese as well, so there's 4 really strong goose players. Well, I guess there's 3 really strong and me. If I want to be modest, or say I'm even better than really strong, I don't know. But yeah, there we go. Boom, two Rays gone. And this is a good race track. This is a really good Ray track. So that's the danger of playing Ray. Even when the tracks are in your favor, you just run out of laps. And Speedlund crashes out, which is just a little bit unexpected. But here they come. Here's Lidelle. So again, the sweep was a little bit of a pipe dream. But we're still okay. We're still okay. Yeah, I can see so many places where I nearly get pushed off that jump, by the way. I barely made it. But a lot of places where I can definitely do faster. I can do the nag turn faster there. Oh, I'm very yeah. I'm seeing the map on the right, so I've got a lead. So I don't try to cut that red bumper. I just take it, complete it, finish it. Don't worry about it. So 3 of my rivals. So I won the last race. 3 of my rivals crashed out. That's pretty good. That's in the driving seat to win. But it's also 3 Rays that can't punish you at the end of Deathwind 2. But on the other hand, Deathwind 2 isn't maybe so good for Rays. So, you know, I don't expect them to be end of the race to be competitive there anyway. So, but we'll see how many of those Rays make it to the end of Deathwind 2. Certainly, they would have preferred more Rays with them. You know, safety in numbers. It's like it's not Rays but turtles, like baby turtles. When they get born on the beach, they have to all run off to the shore, and it's like most of them will be eaten. That's the same kind of logic, right? All the Rays. You know, I get an amazing start again. So 3 superb starts. Can I have another good race to follow it up? So we've got 2 really good races, but 2 really good starts as well. Now we've got a 3rd really good start. But yeah, but it's like it's the same kind of logic with baby turtles. So if there's lots of Rays, some of them will survive, but there's only 3 Rays and there's 4 rank out positions, so it makes it tricky. And you see the map on the right, so you can see the 3 red dots at the bottom. There are friends in the Rays, and then there's also the goose. There he goes. So I don't know how HappyJames gets ahead. They're just able to do it better than I am. I think Falcon does get a benefit from the boost pads. So yeah, I don't know. So you can't. It's kind of unclear to me. Seeing the same players get good starts, is that because netcode is functioning that way, or is it because we're able to race better, you know, at the risk of being arrogant? We're able to sort of fight the pack better, or is it just stupid netcode, stupid luck? So I always boost here. I did mention in when I was talking in Mahjong that the Claire likes to save boosts sometimes, and I think this is a good reason why. So there's a lot of bumpers. That other goose knocks me in, and suddenly I'm 8th. Thankfully, we just survive, and I just sneak 7th, which I'm very grateful to see. So I survived. If you notice at the start of that lap, that last lap. There's a huge amount of space, so it's obviously much faster to kind of cross the rough, but there's a huge amount of space to the left. If I'd have done that and saved boost to the end, I could have, made it much easier for myself, and also saved got an extra load of points. But we stay first, and in fact we get a goose podium. That's right. Doesn't get better than that. We win a race, we win a GP, we win a CMP, and top 3 is Goose. And the only thing stopping top 4 is Goose's HappyJames, who was absolutely wired. Pretty unstoppable. Speedlund's out, so between the two of them, it's weighing heavily towards HappyJames to win. But I'm really happy it's another survival. That's 4. I think I know that I'm definitely top 10 after 4 survivals, unless I do something really stupid in the first race. So I'm really ecstatic. I think I spent a few minutes staring at it. Why not? It's a work of art. So me, SkiVeKt, nashorn in the blue goose, and or the blue, I guess, Amazon, and then Kalt. Yeah. So who says classic? Who says Ray's good? Ray's terrible. All Ray's ranked out. Geese on the podium. Classic Goose can't be beaten. Number 1. Goose best in 99, best in classic. You're just this is a goose world. You're stuck in it. That's all I've got to say about it. How long? Actually, how long? Wait. Yeah, okay. Let's just skip. Let's go to the last GP. So I've obviously well beaten my expectations, and we finish with, of course, the finale. CMP, Silence 2, Whiteland 2, and then Firefield. So again, this came up in the Mahjong, as DSK was Goose for the same, I think, or similar CMP. Silence 2 is fine for Goose, or Silence and Silence 2 is fine for Goose, but the other two are pretty hard. So this is the one I was fearing. Obviously fearing Sand Ocean, but this is the one I was fearing. And we get a little Hordle moment, which is just what we need. So I won't say that. But HappyJames is burning. HappyJames is on fire. We're not even at top speed, so we barely make that jump. So what a disaster for HappyJames. I saved the boost, which is probably the wrong thing to do, but I'm stubborn. I'm very, very stubborn. If I want to save a boost, I will. Pinkpools had a bit of a mess. Master A1 goes flying. I think he hits a bumper or wall, so he's gone. Him and HappyJames, 18th, 19th and 20th, which means we survive, but we're not in a good position. We're 50% health. I would like to go to the pit, but I can't dare because I've got no time. We take a better cut than Pinkpools. And this is the kind of situation where I'd much rather be Goose. We boost early because we've got no choice. We take pretty good. We don't break. And we just keep Pinkpools out. I've got to fight again. But we're gaining ever so slightly. We get a good cut. Full colour. Not great. Ummog, I think, ahead of us. Not great from them. Or was that nashorn again? I don't know. But we boost, we go around that bumper, and we somehow make it. So, yeah, that must have been Ummog. So we just... so that's what happens when things don't go well. That was an excellent race. That was... I obviously made that big mistake in the first lap. I did get extremely lucky because we had 2 races crash out. But just... desperately fighting to survive. No, it doesn't get better than that. And that was an excellent last lap. Let's look at that. Let's look at that boost again. This is excellent. This is don't complain about luck. You can make your own luck. So Hori, I don't know how Hori doesn't manage. He doesn't have a boost. That's how, right? So look at that. That's so. What a. If you, I couldn't replicate this. If you gave me 100 attempts, but we just go around that and we hit the. This is perfect. It's perfect. I deserve to survive. So that's what you gotta do. You gotta just fight. You know, can't stop fighting. But we know that it's going to be tough. Certainly going to be tough 5 field because we're going to basically start back row unless we get a really good race here. And this is not a good goose track. Any track that has, we'll get a decent start though. Not a perfect start, but a decent start. Any track with sort of this kind of design where you've got like a little, it's kind of a big S-turn, I suppose, or a big chicane, but you've got one sort of mini small straight between 2 hairpins. That's the word I'm looking for. One with a lot of hairpins where you can't just boost out every hairpin. Goose tends to struggle. Obviously, one of them is Port Town too, but you kind of benefit from other things. And then there's this one. So I was thinking about doing the double jump at the end of the first lap, but I think I get a back bump off Mengsk, and that saves me. Yeah, so this is why I like to be Falcon, because look at that. I'm just that little bit faster. Because I'm just that little bit faster, I can get past them. Because it's really hard. You can, I mean, you can practice yourself. Go get someone and just drive in a straight line. Goose behind a Falcon. You can keep on banking them forward, but eventually you'll just sort of walk past them. Same thing happens with bumpers. If you ever try to KO a bumper, what happens a lot of times is you hit it maybe 5 or 6 times, and then you'll just phase through it. Well, it's that's kind of how network code works. You're faster than the bumper, so you hitting it forward is making it go faster, but it's also not able to go that fast in the service. So you're seeing it further ahead than where it really is. So the Rays are struggling here. We've only got 2 Rays ahead of us. That's Speedlund and Lidelle, so two of the best Rays in the field. And then I hit the red. So I wait until the red has got the way before I boost. So that was a nice little. Yeah, I think this is a good example of how you deal with tough race. That was a tough races for Goose. But we made it out. So let me just go back to lap 1. Yeah, so I expect to need a back bump. So I'm expecting to do a double jump. So I'm sort of setting myself up a double jump. But Mengsk saves me from having to do that last second. That wasn't very kind of him. And then let's look at free. Like, yeah, so this is where I either get the back bump or you don't, and it's just hard. So these guys are faster. Yeah, it's just a tough. It's tough to maintain speed out. It's tough to point the Goose in the right direction out of the hairpin, out of the second hairpin to boost quickly. It's a tough Goose track. It's definitely a 5 field a lot easier, I would say for certain. So it's up there with Sandocean. Sandocean, probably the worst. But yeah, if I had a boost, so when you hit a when you hit a mine, well, not mine, but a red in Classic, there's a pause where you sort of lose control, and you're sort of fixed in a certain direction and a certain speed, depending on how you hit it. So the point is, if I had boosted immediately, the boost would have been eaten. Same thing happens with any with hitting the wall, hitting ground bonking. I recently got a record in Mirror Silence 2 Falcon, and I ground bonk in it, and it's somehow still a record, because the skip got patched and no one's really pushed it yet. But there's like a period of half a tenth or maybe a tenth where my car is just frozen, because that's how it works. So if I boost now, I waste the boost. So I wait a minute and then, or a second rather, and then I boost, and I get the full use of the boost. So just don't panic. And I was deliberate because the red was in the way. Like, look at this stupid red. Look at that. It was just perfectly placed to annoy me. But in that kind of situation, I'd rather have a red than a normal, whatever it's called, an orange, I suppose. And then we make it Shellius scraped past ummog, I think. Yeah. So yeah, not a. This is definitely, you know, if I was, I would just want to go really goose just for the meme, to be honest with you. But if I was wanting to maximize my points, I would be going Falcon, 100% Falcon for this GP. Not for everything. I would mainly go goose still, but for this one and for Sand Ocean, I would go Falcon and then Ray, I think. Because they're the only two where I would feel I should rank out. The others, like, were really close rank outs where I made a mistake or I got a little bit unlucky and I couldn't really recover. But even then, like, all those GPs, I made it to the last race except for once, so that's really strong as well. So yeah, I think you know, this is the final GP, the final race. Goose is really good in Classic. Here's another example where you can get good back bumps. There's nowhere for harukky to go, but I don't quite get the back bump. But we get. I don't know how I just go past them like that. That was really really good. So 8th is a target, 8th is survival, and that's always a target. Now I go on the right because I want to make the next corner easy as possible. And already we're out accelerating the Falcons. So you get a good exit out of there. We saw it plenty of times in what's it called? Mahjong. Poor old MoonweeD, oh not MoonweeD. Someone had a bad turn there as a Falcon. Shellius, again, I back bump him but I go past him, so I don't know what's going on there. I hit the wall because I'm apparently impatient. That's fine as well. So if you hit into the wall, it's obviously you're eating a little speed, but it makes it way easier to when you get control earlier. So getting control earlier means you're less likely to go into a wall. So, but getting it later means you maintain the speed for longer, and obviously it's better because you're using more of the boost to actually go forward and not into the into the wall or anything. So I'm trying to get the back bump of Moon, and I manage it. So that's how you use netcode to your profits. And then MoonweeD do it again. No. So it's just about fighting. I'm staying really competitive at the front. Yeah, there's Kalt doing a really late boost. I'm kind of worried. I was worried Kalt was going to hit me, so I did save a lot of speed there because I felt if I went too far to the left, he might knock me into the bumper. But he actually went to the inside, so it was actually fine. Which was pretty bold of him. To go right in the inside of that bumper. But you can see the map at the bottom. I'm 6th, 7th, 8th. I'm not sure what's happened to 9th place. They did say it was harukky, but it actually wasn't. He ranked out. So yeah, got to do that chicane. You want to do well at Classic, practice that chicane. And that now it's really yeah. I don't know what I'm doing there. I think I'm just obviously the end. Yeah, there's nashorn getting a good exit. I'm getting a terrible exit. Not a fantastic end, but it's fine because we survive. We survived the GP4, the finale GP. 5-5 field, pretty good. Yeah, excellent, in fact. So you can't win them all. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get the start where you want, but you just gotta fight. Taco sweeps this CMP, so and DSK second. So that was a pretty incredible setup. I would say it's all Falcons, except for me and DSK. So that is really the big story of finale GPs and CMP, and Speedlund just gets disqualified. So I did mention that it was very close between Speedlund and HappyJames, and HappyJames actually was leading, and then he crashed out, and really tragically, I think he got hit into mines and stuff and that kind of thing. And it ended up the final results where, which hopefully I'll bring up on the screen. Yeah, so let's bring it up now. Speedlund 1, 1780. HappyJames 2nd. So HappyJames nearly won the whole thing as Falcon, and really, between the two of them, they're definitely the standouts. They definitely well. Lidelle really good for attack, really good 4th, and then SkiVeKt 5th, and then in 6th place I am 1335. I think it should be 1336 actually, but that doesn't matter. That's a big surprise to do that well. With a CMP, survived most of them. So I 5 out of 8. Really survived most of the races. You know, I had 2 close calls. I had 1 close call I survived, and 2 that I didn't. And then there was SandOcean. So, you know, I think I got to take that as a real positive. There's yeah, so really fun event. Yeah, there's a lot of good names that I managed to get past, who will beat me most of the time, certainly in 99. So, no, I can't complain. So, I think, so obviously congratulations to the podium. Really strong podium. I would guess commiserations to HappyJames, but 2nd is pretty incredible, really. And it shows how viable Falcon really is. So out of the top 6, we've got 2 Raymains, 2 Falcons who are exclusively Falcon, and then 2 players that went. And SkiVeKt went Goose and Falcon, and me just went Goose. So that tells Goose is not bad. You can get it to work. You can get it to do well, and you just got to fight for everything. So I know Speedlund was complaining in the first CMP. He never got any good starts. He was always starting at the back. Never got any back bumps. You just got to, he kept on going though. He complained, but he kept on going, and he ended up winning. So yeah, fun event. Big thanks to the F0 Discord for setting up. Well done for everyone who competed. Was not easy. Wasn't easy at all, but I hope everyone had fun. Maybe next time I will not just use Goose. I will maybe mix a little to get through SandOcean. But it's definitely viable. It's definitely more viable than not. And if someone like me, I've no world records in Classic. If you look at if you were to count world records, the top 5 have probably 30 or something, or 40, and then the top 6 also has the same number because I have 0. And then the ones below, I know Full Color I think has records, and maybe not in in Classic I think, but I'm not sure. But the point is, I know SkiVeKt has lots. I think Taco's a few, Speedlunds is a lot. So they're obviously very strong. So to compete with them is just good. So yeah, great event. So I hope everyone had fun. Be more events in the future. Want to play events like this? Just join the Discord. They're public events where you can just join. They're private events like this where you got to apply. But everyone is welcome. So big thanks to the FC Discord. Big thanks to Taco who actually organised it, and also to Fion who organised the Mahjong event earlier, which I may not have mentioned, but he did all the hard work there. So yeah, thanks to them, and hopefully this game is dead yet, and we'll be seeing more good competition next year.